Hey guys, welcome to the YMCA 360 Houston. My name's Kim and we're going to be doing a Pilates class today. All you're going to need is a mat and some water, and feel free to take those water breaks whenever you need to. We'll be right back. You run and grab that stuff and we'll see you in a minute. So we're going to start today with our feet just hip width apart, and I want you to kind of distribute that weight from the ball of the foot to the heel. And we're just going to push our hips to one side and reach over and look down at that ankle. I want you to focus on that bicep being next to your ear. Your belly button's pulled in tight and you're pushing that hip. And you're going to feel that rib cage kind of shift over there slightly too. And we're going to come back to center and you're going to switch sides. Push that hip. Now you'll notice on this side I've got frozen shoulder. My range of motion isn't quite there yet, and you may be dealing with something too, and we're just going to do our best today. This is a no judgment zone. Come back to center, both arms inhale, arms overhead. You're going to go full range of motion and pull that chest forward. And exhale and draw those arms down. Draw those shoulders up and just settle them down in those shoulder pockets right there. And again, inhale, arms up. And draw those shoulders away from your ears. We're going to step out, turn our toes out, and we're going to open our hips. I just want you to go into really deep plie for me. And pull those belly buttons in tight and hinge forward. As you do that, you're focusing on keeping those knees pushing to the back wall, and then come back up. Try it again. Hinge forward. Opening those hips and stretching those inner thighs, keeping that belly button pulled in tight, and come back up. One more time, hinge forward, and we're going to just push our elbows into our knees and look up. So I'm physically pushing my knees to the opposite wall, and then I'm going to stand back up. Inhale, arms overhead, and exhale and draw those arms down. I want us to reach over again like we started, but this time our arms are by our bicep and we're pushing our hip to that side and our legs are open. And we're going to draw down to center, turn your toes front and drop those glutes low. Now push those glutes back up to the sky, feel those hamstrings, and slowly round up one vertebrae at a time, stacking those vertebrae, and then draw those shoulders back. Let's try that other side. Reach. Push that hip and draw down to center. Place both hands on the ground. Drop those glutes. Push those hamstrings to the sky. And then round up one vertebrae at a time. And shoulder roll. Good job. Always taking those deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to slide our legs together and we're going to go ahead and get to the ground now. So I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me. Place your feet out in front of you. My knees are together, and I'm going to roll down one vertebrae at a time, articulating each individual vertebrae. My arm's going to come by my sides, and I'm going to draw my legs up to tabletop. Now, you notice my ankles and knees are lined up, and my knees are directly over my hip bones. So that's called tabletop, and I'm squeezing my thighs together. Just holding this is making your core work. Make sure your belly button's pulled down and in, and make sure that that rib cage is drawn down and in. And we're just going to crunch up and stare at our thighs. We're going to start the 100. You're going to inhale for 4 counts, and exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Now you can make it a little harder by extending those legs out. The lower the legs go, the more difficult the move is. Inhale for 4, and exhale for 4, and inhale for 4. Now this is a real heat builder. It's going to bring all that energy because you're going to get that heart rate up slightly. And it's going to think about, through that spine, building some heat. And we're going to take our right leg and pull it in and drop that other leg down. Now, I'm not going to go all the way to the ground. I'm going to keep my knees slightly above the hip bone, and I'm going to pull this right leg into me. Now, I'm using my upper body and my core, and I'm getting an incredible stretch through my hamstring. Now, without my core dropping, I'm going to switch legs and pull in again. Abs are tight, and I'm going to switch again, and I'm going to go in, pull up a little bit higher. Switch, pull up a little bit higher. And 2, pull up a little bit higher. And 2, we're going to 10. And 3, pull up. 3, pull up. And 4, focusing on that breath. We're going to inhale one leg. Inhale, exhale. And 5, you're halfway there. And pull. Belly button drawn in. 6, and pull. And 7, and pull. And 8, crunch up high enough that that neck is not straining. And 9, and pull. And one more time, 10, and pull. Cross those ankles, rock up to seated in a little spinal rotation to get a little relief through that lower back. And you're going to switch sides, spinal rotation. Come back to center, draw the legs back together, and roll down one vertebrae at a time. Arms are down, legs are going to go straight this time, and going to rotate to Pilates V. Now that means squeezing the thighs together and physically making a V with your feet. We're going to start by opening the legs and draw them back in. And open those legs and draw. Now the core is not moving, just our legs are moving. And we're focusing on not that we're pushing through air, but rather that we're pushing through quicksand. I want some activation in those inner thighs. And open and shut and open and shut. 2 more times, and then we're going to start big leg circle. And one more time, open and shut. Now we're going to open, draw around, and then pull those legs up. Open, draw around, and pull those legs up. Now focus on your range of motion. If your back is arching up off of the ground, I need you to pull that belly button in tight and shorten your range of motion. Inhale, exhale around, and inhale, exhale around, and inhale, exhale around. 3 more, inhale, exhale around. 2 more, around, and 1 more time, around. Draw those legs in. A little tiny shoulder stand. I'm going to rock all the way to seated and spinal rotation. Focusing on pushing off that leg. This is going to give you some relief. And other direction. And then back to center. Cross your ankles. I want you to try to stand without using your hands. So stand up without using those hands. We're going to step our right leg out to the right. And I want you to notice my back foot is facing forward. My other leg is facing the other direction. And I'm just going to slide down that leg and touch the ground. And then I'm going to come back up. Inner thigh and core. Place your hands together. And this time I'm going to touch my elbow right inside that knee. And then come back up. 10 times. Over. And come back up. Think about taking your bottom rib to that hip bone. And come back up. You're also going to notice a little balancing issue here. And come back up. Say you can't go that far. Touch down like this. And come back up. And over. And lift. And over. And lift. 3 more times. And over. And lift. 2 more times. Down. And squeeze. Do you feel that glute in inner thigh? And down. Meet me center, hinge forward, place your hands on the ground, and just shift your hips right and left for a little release. Now belly button tight and round up slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, and shoulder roll. We're going to the other side. Turn that left foot. Look at the back leg, it's facing forward, and we're gonna slide down. Now if you wanna open up that arm, feel free to do that too right now. Feels great, incredible stretch. And then we're going to come back up center, place the palms of the hands together, and let's come right inside that knee and lift. Now you're going to feel your oblique, you're going to feel the inner thigh, you're going to feel your quadricep, you're going to feel your glutes. Keeping that belly button pulled in tight, and 4, and lift, nothing else is moving. 5, and lift, and 6, and lift, and 7. You're looking great. Keep going. And 8, and lift. Don't forget that breath. 9 and lift, and 10. Straighten that leg, come center, and see if you can get your forearms on the ground. Now I'm going to push my glutes away from my head to that back wall, and I'm going to feel an incredible stretch through my glutes and hamstrings. Now my core is going to work and my hamstrings are going to work as I slowly round up one vertebrae at a time and shoulder roll. Slide those legs together, and we're going to go into a side lying series now. So I want you to lay down on your right side. Look where I am right here. My elbows directly underneath my shoulder, stacking my joints. My hip bone is above the other hip bone. My knee is above the other knee. And if I look down my body, my ankle, knee, hip bone, rib cage, shoulder, and ear are all in a straight line. Now my bottom oblique, look right here, is not dropped down. If it drops down, you're going to notice that shoulder coming close to the ear. So push back up and let's raise that top leg. Front hand is for support, nothing moving but this leg. You're going to go forward for 2 and back. And hit, and back. And hit. Now it looks easy, but it's not. Nothing is moving but this leg. So you're focusing on what you're feeling in this oblique. Keeping that leg up high enough, firing up every muscle in that lower body. Hit, and back. And hit, and back. Watch, I'm going to do it wrong. Don't bend to the leg. And hit, and back. 3 more, and back. And 2 more, and back. Look how high that leg is. 1 more, and back. Hold it back there. Little bitty glute pushes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull that knee in for a quick stretch. Extend that leg, quick stretch, and then line yourself back up. You'll notice a little fatigue starting to happen through here. Make sure that you have those abdominals pulled in tight and you're focusing on keeping this bottom rib up nice and strong, okay? Now flex that top foot, and we're just gonna do little outer thigh raises. 1, 2, 3, and down. 2, and down. 3, and down. 4, keep it going. And 5, keep that quad and hamstring fired up. 6, and down. 7, and down. 8, belly button tight. 9, and 10, and pull that knee in for a little release. Extend that leg, and let's move to the other side. So what are we going to be looking for on this other side? Elbow underneath shoulder, that's called stacking our joints. Hip bone over hip bone, ankle, knee, hip bone, armpit, ear, all in a straight line. Raise that top leg, fire it up, and we're going to go hit, and back, and hit, and back. As you bring it forward, you're going to feel those lower abdominals engage. 4, and back, and 5. Nothing else is moving. So even this inner thigh is working to stay in place. And 7, and back. 8, watch this elbow. And 9 is the shoulder getting too close to the ear. And 10, and draw back there. Little bitty glute presses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Make sure the leg's high enough. 3, 2, and down. Working this abductor. And down. 4, and down. 5. Now watch if I relax my muscles what I look like. That's not what we want. 6, and down. 7, and down. 8, abs tight, and down. 9, one more time, and 10, 2, 3, and let's come back to center. Cross our legs and hinge forward for a little stretch through those glutes. Feels so good. And come back up to center. Now then, we're going to lay down on our belly. I want you to get your hips equally distributed into the ground. I want you to interlock your fingers, fire up your glutes and hamstrings, and look to see that those elbows are underneath your shoulders. Now that if the next move I do is too difficult, then all you need to do is drop your knees down. For now, tuck your toes under. 1, 2, 3, we're gonna go to a hover, and you're gonna hold 10, 9, 8, breathing, pulling the belly button in, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now watch where I'm gonna go. Pull my knees in, round up, and shoulder roll. So I'm getting a little release. We're gonna do that again. Come down, interlock your fingers. Now modification would be right here with the knees down. And we count 10, 9. You still got some body weight up there. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull those knees in, round up, and shoulder roll. Everyone take a deep breath in, arms overhead, and exhale. Now remember, this is my frozen shoulder side. So you should look like both arms reaching up and exhale. Now I want you to get those knees hip width apart. The next move, we're gonna hinge back, and it's gonna be working our core, our quads, and hamstrings. I want your arms shoulder level. Draw those shoulder blades down. If it bothers your knees, just double your mat up, okay? And we're gonna go back, 2, 3, 4, and up. Beautiful. Now what you don't wanna do is drop those glutes. That's not our objective. And up. This is wrong. This is right. Back, 2, 3, 4, and up. Again, now your range of motion is going to be different maybe than mine, and that's okay, and up. Some of y'all are going to be able to go further than mine. Back, 2, 3, 4, and up. Do you feel those quads burning a little bit? And back, 2, 3, 4, and up. Now we're going to change it slightly. We're going to add a back extension. Now remember, this arm doesn't go all the way overhead, so watch this arm. And back, 2, 3, 4, and up. Back extension is different from a hinge. It's like you're diving over a barrel. And up. Still working our quads. And back, 2, 3, 4, and up. Anybody else dealing with an injury out there? Work around it as best you can. 2, 3, 4, and back down to all fours. Now we're gonna get our wrist, elbow, shoulders and line them up, stacking our joints, and I want you to extend your left leg back and your right arm out. Hold it right there, and we're gonna go tap and lift, stabilizing everything else, only moving the arm and leg. Tap and lift, and tap and lift, and tap. Now it's gonna be cheating if you have that back knee in too far like this. Tap and lift. I want it underneath that hip bone like this. Tap, lift, hold. Place both hands down, and you're going to look to the side and then bring it back over and tap the ground. And look to the side. I'm crunching to that side. So as I come forward, I'm crunching. I'm taking my bottom rib to my hip bone and around. And 4, and around. Try to keep that leg up nice and high. 5, feel that oblique working. And 6, and back around. And 7, back around. And 8, pull it back around. 2 more times. 9, and back around. And hold it up there. Little presses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Pull that knee in and stretch it back into extended child's pose. Now, if you didn't feel that glute on that, I don't know what you're gonna feel it on. And round up 1 vertebrae at a time, shoulder roll. And we're gonna go to the second side. So, stack your joints, wrist, elbow, shoulder lined up, right leg extends and left arm. And we're gonna go tap and lift, and 2, and lift. Now, if it's too much to do the arm and leg, just do that leg like this, and 4, and lift, and 5. You're keeping that belly button pulled in through that spine. And 6, and lift, and 7, and lift, and 8. You got 2 more times. Belly button's tight. And 9, and lift, and 10. Lift, hold. Now you're going to go ahead and pull it in, crunching, and then look over your shoulder, tap, and in, crunch, and tap, and 3, and tap, and 4. Don't just move the leg. You're crunching to it. Crunch, 5, and tap, and 6, and tap, and 7. You're almost there, and tap, and 8, and tap, and 9, and tap, and hold. Little presses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Extended child's pose. Stretching down that spine all the way into the glutes. And let's round up 1 vertebrae at a time, shoulder roll. And we're going to go back to laying down on our back. And we're going to work on our roll down and roll up. Now I'm actually going to face you for a second. And I want you to see my knees are together. I'm thinking about the midline of my body and pulling everything to that midline, squeezing. Arms are up. And we're going to roll halfway down. So you're not even going to touch your lower back. You're going to go halfway down and then lift back up nice and tall. Try it again. Roll halfway down and lift it up nice and tall. And halfway down and lift nice and tall. Now when I say lift, I'm thinking about pulling my spine up as tall as it possibly will go. And scoop out that belly. And then nice and tall. Now we're going to make it a little bit harder. You're going to go halfway down, but you're going to pull those elbows back and then come up tall. And 2, pull the elbows past the hips and come up tall. Now if you're going to say, Kim, I can't do that today, then you stay right here and come up nice and tall. And 4, and tall, and 5, and tall. Are you still squeezing those inner thighs? And 6, and tall, and 7, and tall. You've got 3 more. 8, and tall, and 9, and tall. Who says you don't sweat in Pilates? And 10, and tall. Now listen, stay where you are. Roll down and extend those legs up. And we're going to drop one leg and pull the other one in. And we're going to go hit, and 2, and 2, and 3, and 3. Working those quads. 4, and 4. Also the abdominals. 5, 6, and 7, and abs tight. 8, pull the shoulders away from the ears. 9, and 10, and 10. Cross the ankles. Sit up tall. Watch me. Hinge forward and stretch that back. Now look, we're in position right now. Hopefully you're on your mat and didn't have to move like I did. Pull your hands down and 1, 2, 3, step into that plank. Hold your plank. And we're just going to bend one knee, then the other. And 2, abs tight. 3, 4, 5, abs tight. 6, that means pull your rib cage in, knit it together. 7, and 8, and 9, and 10, and 10. Knees down, meet me right here. And just, this is your resting position, believe it or not. From there, leave your hands where they are. Push your glutes back. That's your extended child's pose. And then round up to kneeling, shoulder roll. Now guys, I'm going to face you, but I'm going to show you first from the side. You're going to put your right leg forward and go into a really deep lunge. See that? From the side, it's going to look like this. Spinal rotation to that front knee. Come back to center. Spinal rotation and center. Spinal rotation and center. From the front, it looks like this. Spinal rotation and center. Back leg is straight. 4. Check to see where this knee is. It's lined up with the hip bone. 5 and 6, keep going, 7, trying to go a little deeper each time, 8, and 9, and 10. Now I'm going to draw my back leg up and balance right here. So one of the main components in Pilates is balance, okay? Your big toe is your balance toe. Press it into the ground. And we're going to take our hands behind our head, little bitty knee raises, lift, lift, lift. Add a crunch. 10, 9, 8, 7, little crunches, 6, 5, engage those muscles, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Settle that leg down, forward fold. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale and slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time, and shoulder roll. Settling those shoulder blades in your back pockets. Excellent job. Second leg goes back. So remember, what we're doing right here is trying to get our knee over our ankle and our knee also lined up with our glute. Hands together, spinal rotation. 1. Keep going. 2. And 3. If you're sweating like me, 4. Grab your towel. Wipe off your face. 5. And then join me back in. 6. Going a little bit bigger each time. 7. Woo, balance. 8. 9. Think about what we're about to do. 10. Pull the back leg up. Meet me right here. Little bitty pushes up, hands behind the head. 1, 2, 3. Let's add the crunch. 1, 2. Last move, and then we're stretching. 3, 4, 5. Keep going. 6. Remember that big balance toe. 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Step out wide. Turn those toes out. Drop the glutes like we did in the beginning, and push those knees open. Whew. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth with a sigh. Hinge forward for a little deeper stretch. Focusing on pushing those knees open. Now we're going to turn our toes front, place our hands firmly on the ground, and press our glutes to the sky. Focusing on those hamstrings, but I'm also going to shift my weight right and left and right and left. 2 more times, right and left. 1 more time, right and left. Now come to center, plant your big toe firmly, and round up slowly. 1 vertebrae at a time, and shoulder roll. Now we're going to slide down to the right, and you're going to look down at that ankle. I want you to see if you can get your hand at least mid-shin. Now I'm going to take my back hand and pull it around, using my ankle as something to pull against. I'm going to drop that front elbow down as far as it'll go. And I'm feeling my hamstring, my glute, a little bit of inner thigh on the opposite side. And then come center, drop those glutes, look up, and everybody stand. Second side. This time, if you want to add that arm overhead, remember our goal is to go at least to mid-shin. And watch this top arm. Pull it around, grab that ankle gently, and try to drop that elbow down. Now we want to breathe through that stretch. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, because the more that we relax in the stretch, the deeper we'll be able to go into it. And then let's work our way forward again. Stretching through those hands, we're just going to walk our feet in together. You're in a forward fold position. Now listen, it's going to be balanced because our feet are narrow. Reach back behind, interlock your fingers, and pull your rib cage towards your thighs. Now I don't want you holding your breath. Remember, holding our breath keeps us tense. We want to exhale and pull in a little deeper. Pull that belly button in tight. Let your arms hang and focus halfway up on that middle back. You're scooping out the belly like you're diving over a barrel. And you're going to slowly continue up, stacking one vertebrae at a time, and shoulder roll at the top. Big deep breath in to finish. Inhale and exhale. And hopefully you had a great time in Pilates today. Come see us again and have a blessed day, guys.